Hey, going to have a little look at chapter 3 on projectiles, section A, question 19, I think it is, yeah. Um, uh, it's there. Take a pause your video, do the question, try the question. Maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Maybe it's like copyright. Okay, I won't do it again. I'm not going back. I might have to anyway. Okay. What we have here is we have a very strange question, really. It basically says that a projectile launched on flat ground, boom, 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 and at any given height, let's say that's the height, there happens to be two times that the equation is satisfied. Is that all right? And we call this T1 and T2. And it should be pretty obvious that T1 is less than T2. Is that all right? Oh, very strange, really, isn't it? What formulas have we got? Oh, yes, applied maths. Imagine trying to solve them with formulas. Let's write out the formula. I think we're looking for height. So S of j, in this case, will equal h. But let's come back to S of j is equal to the u of j times t minus g over 2 times t squared. Okay, so I think we're kind of happy with that. It says that it was inclined at an angle alpha. So u is here and the angle alpha is there. So therefore u of j could be called, that's that side, u sine alpha. I hope we can agree with that. T minus g over 2 times t squared. So that's pretty obviously a quadratic. So it's not nice quadratic. Let's try and solve the quadratic. And we get t squared times g over 2, not clean this up much, minus u sine alpha times t plus h. And that's all equal to 0. Yes? So you should know how to solve quadratics, even though most of the quadratics you've met haven't been this. We're going to use the a times t squared plus b times t plus c formula to give us minus b, and I am going to write this out for a change, minus plus or minus the b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And if you have me in class, you know I don't write this phrase out. I don't think it's my problem. But for this time, I think I will. Because the reason why we get options is because of the plus and minus. And I'm saying to you that I've got two versions here, T1 and T2. T1 I said was less than T2, so which one will that be? Will it be minus b plus or minus this? You're right, it'll be the minus. So we can casually and write down that. Well, actually, let's find out what b was. B is a is g over 2. B is minus u sine alpha, and c is equal to h. Okay, so we'll use those to solve this. Okay, so let's write this out. So minus b turns out to be u sine alpha minus, this is all over 2a, the root of b, which is u squared sine squared alpha. Yeah, that's coming up clear enough. Minus 4. 4 what? 4 G2s. 4 half Gs. So that's 2G. H. 2G times H. Yes? Good. What's T2? T2 is very similar. It's the same thing. It's just u sine alpha plus u squared sine squared alpha minus 2gh. Again, all over 2a. That's T1 and T2. Okay? I suppose. Is that the trick? Could be the trick. Right, let's have a little look at the questions now. We'll go again. Oh, this is definitely copyright. I just said I wouldn't do it. T1 multiplied by T2 is equal to 2h over g. T1 multiplied by T2. We're going to multiply this by this. You might notice this is the difference of two squares. Is that all right? Is that the square of two differences? So that's going to lead me to say that I'm going to get the square of this side, and I'm going to get the square of this side, but the component in between will cancel, so I'll have a minus u sine alpha root u squared sine and a plus, and so the two of them, when you combine them together, becomes 0. That's all over 2a. Okay, so I'm going to end up with u squared sine squared alpha plus, minus u squared sine squared alpha minus 2gh, which is all over 2a. 2a is g over 2. There's two of them. So it's just equal to g. But it's g by g, so it's g squared. Over g squared. U sine squared alpha minus u sine squared alpha becomes 2. Was a minus there, plus there. So 2gh over g squared. That cancels with that to leave me with 2h over g. Pray to good God, that's still on the screen. Yes. That's the first one. The second one then says, show you what it says. If h is equal to u sine alpha, then t1, t2 is equal to t1 plus t2. Well, this is what t1 times t2 is. So if I'm saying that h is equal to u sine alpha, then 2h is equal to 2u sine alpha over g. He said that was equal to t1 plus t2, or he didn't say it was, he said show it. If I come back up here, I am simply adding these two. Yes, same common denominator, that's grand. So the u sine alpha plus the u sine alpha become 2u sine alpha. The minus root plus the root becomes 0. So t1 plus t2 becomes 2u sine alpha, and it's all over 2a. 2a being g over 2. So g, okay, which is the same. Those two are now equal, and that comes from that. Okay, I hope you're happy. So there's a third part. I think I did the trick. Stick in the values. U been 4g and h been 2g. Stuff will start cancelling. Okay. Thanks. Have fun. Bye. See you next time. Keep sending more problems. Bye.